Hi, my name is Ishmael and today I'm going to give you my opinion on the serviced accommodation industry, where it is now and where it is going in the future. So, the beginning of June, Airbnb actually did a survey to say that they believe that short-term lets should have to register. Now this looks like it is going to be coming in the long term, but no confirmation is being made. It has been talked about for a while, just like Section 21 has been talked about for a long time before they have finally said they're going to definitely implement it. If you want to hear about Section 21, check out my other videos. There's more information about that. So back to serviced accommodation. It looks like Airbnb are trying to get landlords to register their properties to say if they're small-time landlords, large commercial landlords, register it with the local council so that they know what properties are actually in the area and they also know who's running them. The reason for this is they are finding that people are putting properties on the market on Airbnb that are not up to safety standards. They don't have fire alarms, they don't have security, they aren't cleaned properly. There's a lot of issues with these properties that are coming on. So Airbnb are saying we need them registered because they don't want to take on the task of checking all the properties through every time they come on. So they want a registration system so they can check the landlords and that the properties don't get passed from platform to platform to platform and pictures are changed and names are changed, email addresses, and the same person is renting out the property somewhere else and causing more problems for the industry. So I think it's a good idea. How it's going to work, I'm not sure. They have said that in Europe these things are actually happening. They are regulating them and it's a purely online based system that has worked and has increased the standard. So we could copy some of these European countries which are using this database system and therefore increase the standards. So this is one thing that looks like it's going to be coming in the industry. I believe that the Airbnb industry or the short-term let industry has had a big boom so far this year. There are areas which aren't performing very well. One of them being Birmingham. It's not doing amazingly. It's doing okay in parts of Birmingham, depends on the area, but in general Birmingham is not booming as other cities in the UK. Obviously there's a lot of cities, seaside towns, which are doing extremely well because of the holiday seasons and because everyone's doing staycations. However, bigger cities aren't all doing well. Some of them are doing great because they've got tourist attractions and so on. So, my projections for the Airbnb or short-term let industry, I always say Airbnb because that's how everyone knows it. It's a short-term let, short-term stays. My predictions are, it's going to be very, very good for the rest of this year. Next year is going to be quite good and the year after is not going to be so great. Now the reason why it's going to be getting worse and worse as time goes on is one, the staycations will not be happening as much and people will start travelling abroad next year. Two, what's happening on top of that is that a lot of people see this industry as booming, and so what's happening is a lot of properties are coming on the market for short-term stays. That's meaning that the markets are getting flooded very, very quickly. Locally, I have seen in a town where the population is only around about 35,000 people, permanent residents, I have seen an extra 50%, or rather an extra 100% properties come on the market. The reason I know that there's that many extra is because the hosts do not have reviews. The properties do not have reviews. And last year, these properties were not there. There was not that many properties in the town, and now there's a huge amount of properties in the town without reviews. This is suggesting to me they're all new properties, all newly to the market, all new, and this is happening across the entire country, not just in the local towns. Pretty much everywhere you're seeing it. Yes, some were taking off the market and some have come back on, or different ones have come back on. However, there has been a definite increase in the amount of accommodation available. This is going to definitely make it harder to have service accommodation, short-term lets, Airbnb lets on the market unless you have a very, very high standard. Now that's very good if you're doing properties to a high standard. Now if you're doing a rent-to-rent business for short-term lets, this is going to get harder and harder because to find the great properties that are actually renovated to the standard that you need is going to be a lot harder. So you're going to have to put higher spec furniture in, you're going to have to possibly renovate the kitchen, renovate the bathroom, repaint the place. These are things that put so much money on as a rent-to-rent business, you'll find it difficult to do with that. If you want to learn more about rent-to-rents, check out my other videos where I speak about what a rent-to-rent is and how you can run a business as a rent-to-rent. Meanwhile, I think the Airbnb industry this year is booming. I think getting into the short-term lets or service apartments, service accommodation industry now is getting a bit late for this year's boom. But I believe it's going to carry on over the Christmas period and then dull off in the beginning of next year and then pick up again for next year's summer season, spring summer season for various short-term holidays. If you like this video, subscribe to my channel, whack that bell notification icon to get notified of videos coming out each and every week.